I'm going to talk about the Italians in Scotland. The first wave of Italian immigration started in the late 1860s, 1870s, and peaked in the early 1900s. And the early Italian migrants were largely unskilled labourers, farm workers from the poorest parts of Italy. Many of them went to North America, some went to South America. But there was a second wave of emigration from the poorer areas of Italy, and that was after World War II. And many Italians went to other European countries, for example, Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, and the UK. And I want to talk about the Garfagnana, which is a very poor mountainous district in Tuscany, which saw very large-scale emigration. At one point in the 1950s, it was estimated that half the population of Barga, which is in the centre of the Garfagnana, lived overseas. Some of these migrants from the Garfagnana settled on the west coast of Scotland. There is a theory that the first arrivals thought they were going to America, but somehow got off at the port of Greenock instead. So, in particular, many of the 19th century migrants, the very early migrants, were figurinai, which means they were people that made and sold little plaster statuettes, cats, dogs, religious figures, figurini di gesso, we call them. Here's some examples from the museum in Corelia and Telminelli, which is a mountain village in the Garfagnana. When street selling was banned and the plaster figures fell out of fashion, many Italians turned their hand to other trades, so for example catering. And because fish was plentiful in Scotland and so were potatoes, that's when we saw the rise of fish and chip shops, or as we say in Italian, pesce e patate, and this became the Scottish national dish. So even today, many fish and chip shops, and of course many ice cream shops in Scotland, are still owned by Italian families. And I have some pictures of a fish and chip shop and an ice cream shop, which still belong to the same families from the 1950s. If you go to Barga, you can see a small exhibition in the museum, which is the story of the Bargigiani, the people from Barga, who still celebrate the link with Scotland every summer with the Sagra del Pesce e Patate, the fish and chip festival. Other Italians have the festival of the aubergine or other local dishes, but Barga has fish and chips. Many famous Italian Scots you might have heard of include Daniela Nardini, the actress, Paolo Nutini, the singer, Nicola Benedetti, the violin player, Tom Conti, the actor, Edoardo Paolozzi, the sculptor, and many, many more. If you go to Barga today, you can still hear people switching from one language to the other, in this case Italian and Scots dialect.